Filters. Oh, there we go. Oh, hold on a second. What is that? What is that? He just leaked the whole new ring setup. What is this? What is that? Warden is a copy-paste of Handler. I am somewhat agreeing with you. They could be more creative. They could be definitely more creative. Maybe the new Archetype will break the game by making you immortal. I would prefer to have less passives for the turrets and have more decision making on how to use the turret. I think it's a medium Archetype compared to DLC 1 and 2. We have been asking for ranged damage buffs for so long that in the background everything might be changed for the DPS of the ranged builds, and on top of that we get the Warden and the tank meta shift. So we might be looking at a completely different sandbox on the next DLC. We have our boy back doing something, applying an item in dungeon, or this is how you unlock the Archetype, I don't know, we'll see. The Scythe, just like we predicted, chat, just like we predicted. I don't know about the passive on the Scythe, because it's a unique Scythe, right? I assume. So maybe, I don't see its overload. Although I do see some lightning here. Might have some elements of overload, because Nerud and overload are very connected. I think that the shield drone is much more powerful than the heal drone, because heal you can get from lifesteal, but shields are a very unique stat to get, you know? It looks very strong, okay? It looks very, very strong. I think that it's super strong by its own for survivability, and I think that the best support builds are going to come out of this Archetype. I don't think that the Archetype does crazy damage, by the way. So how beautiful is this? Look at this design, man. The opening here is sick. I'm loving this. Fires a stream of nanomachines dealing damage to enemies or healing allies. No, the beam was targeted at allies. So if you target this at allies, it heals them and the beam becomes light. 3% of their max HP per second. The nanotech also restores Nerudian energy to turrets and drones. It's called a repair tool. So this is a direct impact to the new Archetype. Alright, so you're recharging your energy with this weapon, you are healing your allies, and you can damage the enemies at the same time. That is insane, no? Let me, oh, hold on a moment. Chat. Observation, what is this? What is that? Perception and preservation. So these two are new ones. Any predictions on those? What if with this trait you lessen the range for the enemies to detect you? So this is shield amount. This could be, right? We're just talking here. This could be preservation just to keep the shield going, you know, shield duration. Hold on a second. Look at the Scythe. It comes back, right? The Scythe comes back, but the attack stays there. What is that fragment stab up there on the left? That is new, Puya. Fragment stab is new, yep, that is new. So look at that. Scythe is back, but the damage is still going. Are you seeing this? So this is the... Oh, Lord. Are you seeing this? So this is a special attack of this Scythe. Are you seeing this? So you're attacking, right? And the Scythe, like a ghost Scythe, stays there, keeps staggering the enemy. So melee builds with that will be sick. Do you remember that new evade effect from last cinematic? Maybe new traits have to do something with that. Just a blind guess. Puya Baba. I see you. All right. So this missile, let's say, is the new attack for the new turret as well. We saw from the previous... I mean, it doesn't look the same unless it's different from behind. Pause. Right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's the same. If it is the same, or this is just a little bit bigger, or if we see this from behind, we would see that ball animation that we saw. I'm not as hyped as the invoker. And I do believe that the Warden will be super, super powerful. I'm not sure if it's going to overshine the invoker, in my eyes at least, okay? I don't know if it's going to overshine the invoker. The invoker is insane, dude. Invoker is crazy, in my eyes, okay? The damage boosts, the effects, everything, just everything is crazy. This one, it's completely a thing that you would expect from Nerud. I would not expect anything more or less than what we got from this. I don't think that it's going to break the meta like Invoker did. Invoker completely broke the meta, guys, right? Give me some truths in the chat, man. Invoker completely destroyed the meta, dude. It made the game, like the builds, so crazy. Like double skills and crazy stuff. I don't see them going like too crazy with this archetype. It depends on how much damage or shield the turret does. Survivability is always strong in this game, right? What breaks this game, right, is usually more damage. Invoker gave you that. Invoker gave you that increase to damage, you know, like not only that, you got like so many new skills to activate, so many skills to activate because of the prime perk, right? So Warden is a more of a support type archetype. Is not the archetype you bring to a fire team if you need more damage, right? It's an archetype you bring to a fire team because the fire team is lacking support and you don't want to play boring support builds, right? I don't know. I think that Warden Engineer looks the craziest right now for hardcore. Yeah, you basically let the AI play for you. All you gotta do is stay alive and dodge the fatal attacks. The turret can shield you. The turret can heal you. I assume the pistol is the starting weapon for the Warden. So you get the pistol with a huge amount of reserves to give energy to your turret. The high-end game of max level is not gonna be too crazy for the Warden. So a max level apocalypse build, right, where your archetypes are maxed, you have all the rings and the amulets that you need. I don't think that those builds will be super powerful, right? They are going to be powerful, don't get me wrong, and it's definitely going to be in the meta, right? But I don't feel like they are going to do the most amount of damage. Where in the opposite side, the early game of this archetype in hardcore will be insanely powerful. You get so many effects on you, right? Shielding, healing. I'm not quite sure about the prisms. The prisms is one thing. It's confusing me because it said that you are consuming prisms, right, to further increase some of your attributes. Will I be able to reset those attributes so I can showcase different builds, or will I have to pick up these attributes and then forever stay with them? I'm more excited for the weapons that will come with this DLC. The class seems cool, but I don't know if I'll shake it up the meta, if it will shake up the meta. 𝐒𝐻𝐚𝐨𝐬, good night. It will shift the meta, buddy. It will shift the meta, but on the support meta. Will the DLC be free to play? Chipo, no, it will not be, man. It will be $9.99, which is a very, very low price, if you ask me. It's a very, very low price, right? Gunfire Games are giving us the least amount of money required for awesome content. Like other games ask for $9.99 just for the battle pass, so you can get like 4-3 skins, let's say, for certain items. Where with this $9.99 you get a full expansion of the game and a whole new world to play and new items and new rings and new builds for you to create, and it's completely value for money purchase, in my opinion. I have zero interest in Warden, but the content surrounding it though. The new world, boss rush, new weapons and mods That's what I'm looking forward to. Josh, that's why you are my moderator, brother. That is exactly what is in my head, brother boy. Definitely, we are going to try to maximize the damage of the Warden, and we are going to try a Shield House 2.0 for sure. But our main focus in this channel is going to be the new world, the new weapons, the new mods, the new traits, the new build system, the new fragment system, everything around the Warden is what I want to focus. What is good about this DLC, and I hope I'm right, is that the previous DLC we got an amazing build crafting upgrade, right? With the invoker, with the new rings, with the new amulets, with the new changes, right? We got massively stronger because of the new archetypes and the changes that happened in the sandbox, right? But I hope this time the archetype is not gonna break the game the same way Invoker did, right? If you do some 100% CDR cooldown builds, you would be like basically like breaking the game back in the days when the Invoker came out, right? I hope that the archetype, I hope that the team did not focus on the archetype too much and they focused on everything around it. Will Engineer Prime Perk overclock the drone? Uneven seen. Imagine that they reworked the Prime Perk of the Engineer because the Warden arrived. And the Engineer Prime Perk says that overclocking your turret also overclocks the drone if you're using one. That could be a possibility, and I love the way you're thinking, Uneven Seen, man. Thinking about it, if this is the last DLC, we should have the most amount of new items added in the game this time, in this DLC. Red Poorman, Warden is a copy-paste of Handler. I don't think that it's a copy-paste from Handler. I can see the similarities, and I am somewhat agreeing with you. They could be more creative. They could be definitely more creative, right? Red Poorman, I completely agree with you that they could put a little bit more effort into the archetype and try to create something crazier, right? They went pretty safe with this one. And I would love the Handler to stay unique. The Handler is such a unique archetype, right? It's the only one that has one pet and the whole kit is around that pet. I would love to keep it that way. I would love to have a first skill that would be the drone or the last one, all right? Because it is a very strong skill to use. But what I would like to see is like if you press one time, if you press the skill button one time, you get a shield. If you press the skill 2 times, you get a heal. If you hold the skill for the turret, you get a damage, right? So you can convert the energy of the turret by either single pressing it, double pressing it, or holding it. That way, you can have all the skills that you have in the archetype right now in one skill, right? And you have to be smart about it, of how to use the turret. Okay, I have 50% energy left, okay? Do I press it once to get a shield because a very strong attack is coming my way and I want to defend, I want to tank it? Am I 1 HP and I want my HP to be restored? I have to double press the turret, right, to get my shield back. And then, okay, I'm full HP. I might have cleared the whole area and I have an elite that I want to melt. Okay, let's hold the button for the turret to melt the enemy, right? And if Chaos is not a support type player and he doesn't want to play a turret, okay, we have 2 more skills, okay? We have another skill that is maybe around tankiness or elemental damage or skill damage, or I don't know, some cool effect that you could do from Nerud. Okay, Nerud has some very cool effects that you can copy from bosses, right? And implement them into the archetype. So we could definitely have 2 more skills for the archetype. I really strongly believe that one skill would be enough. One skill would be more than enough to do everything that the turret is doing now. I would prefer to have less passives for the turrets and have more decision making on how to use the turret, because if you're low on HP, and you need the HP, you want the turret to heal you. And if you are max HP and you want to increase your effective health, you need a shield, right? And if you're full on everything and you want to, let's say, have more damage, then you can hold the button. You could do that. I don't know about the other two skills. What they could be. They could be something definitely more cooler that you can activate, right? Like a big shockwave in the map. Impact cannon, right? The ground attack, and give it as a skill, maybe. And do it in a such fashion where the shockwave activates like 5 times in a row, you know? Like you sit there, you get the gauntlets out, and you shoot the ground and create shockwaves. That would be an amazing skill. Because then you can play that with invoker and create more unique builds with skill activations. There are a few things I want to talk about, the DLCs. I don't know if you were here when I talked about them. On the previous DLC, on the Forgotten Kingdom, we got the most powerful state of Remnant 2 character can be in this game. Besides bugs in other times, DLC 2 was the point where we were broken. We would do stuff that Remnant 2 us players, right? Back in the a year back, we would not even imagine of doing such damage back in the day. Where back in the day we used to have some very simple and not too complex builds where you could put 5 rings, shoot the weak spot for 10k, and that's it, call it a day. But now we are much more powerful because of the DLC 2. They did focus on an amazing archetype, and I can say that the design for Invoker is beyond what I expected for the Invoker. I don't know if you remember how hyped I was because of the Invoker. Invoker, in my opinion, is the craziest archetype to pair with in your builds, okay? With that being said, DLC 2, we got super good changes for the weapons, for the rings, for the builds. Invoker came in the meta and completely shifted it. Maybe the new archetype will create the tankiest build that we have ever seen right now, right? Maybe the new archetype will break the game by making you immortal. I don't see how the meta will change for you to be doing more damage. We have that. We already have damage right now. We have Invoker, we have Ritualist, we have Archon, we have Hunter. We are doing damage right now, fellas. We are more powerful than we used to on DLC 1 because of the Invoker, in my opinion, right? You can have multiple activations of builds, of skills, and it's crazy how crazy you can go with damage builds right now. What I think is that the meta for support and tank players will shift with the DLC 3, okay? Maybe we are talking about the support archetype. All this time we are talking about the support archetype. But what if this archetype will make you the tankiest that you have ever been? Shield is connected to health effectiveness, right? The effective health, I'm sorry, my bad. I phrased it wrong. Effective health means how much damage one hit can do to drop you down. So if you have an HP bar of, let's say, 100 HP, right? But you have shield times 3 on top of you, your effective health is much more than a tank that has 250 HP only, right? Am I right or am I right? So this change, this new archetype, might give us the tankiest state that we have ever gotten in the Remnant 2. Alright? That is a very healthy way to shift the meta of other people's choice as well. And as a tank player myself, I will not try the support side of Warden, but I will definitely try the tank side of Warden. And I will try to make it as tanky as it can possibly get. I'm talking about shield duration, shield effectiveness, shield times 2, 3, or even if we can... I don't know if we can get to shield times 4. I don't know. But we will try it. We will try to make a Warden unkillable. The Warden will shine in tank builds, in my opinion, because of the shields, you know? I pray the Hags meta to come back. It is so frustrating to play brainless builds and be more effective than a player who can hit the weak spots should be more rewarded than the player who is just throwing a mod somewhere in the general direction of the enemies and does more damage, not only to a single one of them, but he can wipe up a group as well. I don't know if you're with me with that. Me personally, I'm a mage type player, so I love to use mods and skills and AoE attacks. I love to do that. Don't get me wrong. Don't get this wrong. But I would love to see some variety in the game. I would love to see other builds shining other than the skill and the mod builds. I don't know if you are with me in that one. I hope you are, guys. I hope you are. I think it's a medium archetype compared to DLC 1 and 2. And the reason I already explained. In DLC 1, we got a DPS meta shift because of the dots buff and the dots builds. On DLC 2, we got another DPS meta shift on skills and elemental damage. And on the DLC 3, we might be looking on a meta shift for tanks and supports. But let's not forget that we have been asking for ranged damage buffs for so long that in the background everything might be changed for the DPS of the ranged builds, and on top of that we get the Warden and the tank meta shift. So we might be looking at a completely different sandbox on the next DLC, right? We might be looking on a completely different sandbox where range damage builds are amazing, right? And they do need a support to back them up, right? Or a tank that can back them up, right? We might be looking at a sandbox where Archon and Invoker are not that powerful, or that everything else are on the same level with Invoker right now and Archon, let's say. Tragic has posted Mythic range damage plus 10%. Very similar to the damage values that we have right now, but you can feed to Prism or socket, right? If you socket it, dude, that sounds so wrong. If you socket, you're gonna use the 10%. If you feed, maybe you enhance it? I don't know. But this is the most important part for me. Warden. Prime perk. After 10 seconds of not being damaged, the Warden generates shield for 23% of their max health over 2 seconds. I appreciate it that it's for max level. I hope this archetype that we are watching right now is a max level archetype, and that's why it says 23%. But we already knew that, so let's see the damage perk. Increases all damage by 25% and grants 5% critical chance. That's it? For no reason? Damage increases with Warden level. Is that not the maxed out Warden that we are watching right now? 25% is a lot, chat. And they did not put any conditions as well. I thought it's gonna be a condition, like when you have a shield active on you. There is no condition, and 25% is a lot. Anywho's, the Warden's drone grants 1 stack of bulwark and increases incoming healing effectiveness by 10% to its Warden target. Very good. Utility perk. When the Warden's health drop below 25%, gain a shield for 28.8% of max health, lasts 10 seconds. Can only happen once every 30 seconds. So this is basically, let's say, a small challenger prime perk, right? But I don't like the values. Like, do you see the 28.8%? That means that this archetype that the screenshot has been taken from is not max level, I think. Because damage increases with Warden level, that might be 30%. And that 28.8% might be a 30%. We'll see, we'll see. Maybe it's just the way they did it. We'll see. Relic perk. On relic use, grant a shield for 28.8% of max health, cannot stack with itself. Lasts 10 seconds or until shield is removed by damage. If you use shielded hard, you're gonna get 128% of max HP as shield value. If you use the 20% shield effectiveness, you're gonna get almost ×2 shield just by using shielded hard. Or even better, if you use a relic that gives you also bulwark on top of it, you also get a shield and bulwark on top of it. That's kind of crazy, no? While the actual values may change, the core functionality will remain the same. Talk about defense. Filters. Oh, there we go. Look at that, look at that. All damage, skill damage, mode damage, melee, fire rate, fire charge, range, elemental, defense. Defense? Anywho's. Aura, AoE size, summons. Come on, give us an S here, no? Lifesteal, special effects. Okay, I like that. I will use that a lot. I will use these filters instead of typing what I want to find. I will use these ones for sure. Oh, hold on a second. What is that? What is that? What's that? What's this? Is that the Varloop ring? The old one? Chat! Are you seeing? Hold on a moment, because before he showed everything. He showed everything before with the scroll. Look at this ring, dude. Look at this one. These are all new rings, chat. Oh my god. He just leaked the whole new ring setup. Look at this. Okay, so this is a new ring. This is a burden ring. It's between burdens. Burden of the Mason, Burden of the Rebel, Burden of the 𝐒𝐻, Stargazer, right? So this is a new burden ring. And this is also a new burden ring. Burden of the Destroyer, the healing share thing, and this is also another burden. So we can confirm that we have at least 1, 2, and maybe... No, this is the Burden of the Warlock. Maybe this one? A new burden ring? Tragic knew what he was doing when showing this. I mean, I'm pretty sure he did, yeah. I know. Okay. Look at this ring, dude. Yo, the new builds are going to go crazy. I'm telling you, chat. Look at this design. This is a 𝐒𝐻𝐸 ring, for sure. This is 𝐒𝐻𝐸 ring. Look at this design. Look at this design. This is such a tease, dude. Okay, we have a new one here. New one here. Here. This one. Oh my lord, dude. Look at this thing. That's crazy, chat. That is insane. Shielded Strike plus Ring of Spears and Warden, Raphael. That's gonna be nasty. I think it's gonna be nasty, this patch. I think this DLC is gonna be nasty, man. Like, this is gonna be like super crispy. Oh, look at this shit. Alright, stop. Loving it, loving it, loving it. Alright, anything else? So if you see, this fragment is complete. And these ones are broken. This is a complete, but it's not selected. You know? Because we have 5% damage reduction, right? So we will have to complete them. I don't know if it's going to reset for me. Hopefully it's not going to reset for me. But this one is a, let's say, level 5 fragment, right? And then how is the prism? I don't know, man.